Guys, welcome back to another episode. I have a very special guest, a friend of
Tell
mine
them our
as
name.
well.
Tell them our name.
Oh yeah, Grocery Bros. Welcome back to another episode of
Number
Grocery
10.
Bros.
Number
Episode
10.
10. And
Could be 9.
am
But
I allowed to introduce the guest now,
Yeah, go
or
ahead.
you done? You done,
I'm done. See ya. No. Go ahead.
guys? We have somebody special here, Papa's Brittle, Darlene Gardner, Miss Gardner, the boss. She actually already she scared Bob already today. He's gonna behave, he said. Guys, I'm excited to have you on here because I still remember the first day I met you, and you walked in with some peanut brittle, and you gave a sample, and I'm like, who is this lady? But you're so sweet, and then you gave us a bunch of brittle, and everybody started eating it at the counter, and we had you in the store, like we're calling you the same day. Get your butt in here and bring a bunch of those bags. She sold out the first day she came in here.
How come I didn't get any?
Because we gave it to the employees we like.
Oh.
But Darlene, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it, and I'm just excited to hear the story. You have such a great story, and jump into it. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us who you are, and tell us a little bit about your product and how'd you get into this business.
Well, I'm Doreen Gardner. I'm from Kalamazoo, born and raised. So this is my hometown. And I first want to give a shout out to you, Paul, because I tell you, you have been so phenomenal and so good to me. You just don't know.
Are we talking about the same Paul that I know?
See, he treats you a little differently than he treats
Yeah.
me.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't behave.
Well, I see something special in you. The special I see in him is the one we don't want.
Right. But from the time I came in here, you you embraced me. Not kind of, you did embrace me, and you began to talk to me and share business tips and things, do's and don'ts, how-tos, and that's something that you just don't find everywhere that you go. So I just want to say thank you publicly to you, because being a small entrepreneur, being a brand new business owner, you gave me the confidence and the courage that I needed to continue to push and to pursue and to become. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was easy to give you advice. You're like a sponge. You just soaked it up. But really, I was just telling you my experiences,
Yeah.
and if I can help somebody avoid those, because they can be tough. They can be discouraging where you just stop. And
Yes.
I didn't want to see that, because you have the personality, you have the work ethic, you have the brand, you have the product, and you're family oriented. You have so many good qualities about you, and like, you can't fail. I mean, you could be selling us pencils at this point. People are probably going to buy them off you. You're like, but I'm just seriously
Yeah.
Do you have pencils?
yeah. Well,
Not on me.
no, I mean, if she had one, I would take it from her and stab you right now. No, that's cool. But so, like, tell us about. So who invented the product? Like, tell us about that.
This recipe is my mother's, okay, and we called her Nana, Jackie, Granny, whatever. But it got named Papa's, and I'll kind of tell you the story about that. But this is a family recipe. She's made it for over 60 years. She just simply gave it away. Every holiday, that's what she did. She'd start preparing for it, like in October.
And it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work to make peanut brittle.
Yeah.
But people would start calling my mother in August. Jackie, can I get on your list? Can I get on your list? Can I get peanut brittle. But in 2020, her health was failing. And so she came to me and she says, you're going to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm not. She says, yes, you are. I said, no, I'm not. You tell your friends your health is failing. You can't do it anymore. Kitchen is closed. Well, after telling her no about 6 or 7 times, she told my dad on me. And so he comes to me and he says, you're going to help your mom. Well, when Daddy speaks, it's like E.F. Hutton. So I did it, but I did it, and I was mad the whole time I did it. Really, really mad, because I did not want to do it. I'm doing this in my kitchen. She's got all these people I had to make all this peanut brittle for, over like 200 people. And so,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. So it was no small task. But as I was doing it, people kept saying, we've been telling your mother for years she ought to sell this stuff. So I go back and I said, Mama, everybody keeps saying you ought to sell it. She says, I'm not going to sell it. I got mad again. So it was the madness that got me into this stuff. Yeah. But anyway, I put a post out on Facebook. I don't know what got into me, because I knew I didn't want to do it, but I put a post out on Facebook and sold 200 pounds of brittle in 3 days.
Jeez.
And I thought, okay, and then I'm really mad because I got to fill all these orders. So I just took the post down, said, that's it, I'm done. I will never, ever make another batch of peanut brittle again as long as I live.
And you stuck to your word.
Absolutely not. The only lesson in that is don't say what you will never do. That's the lesson behind that. And so I did, but I shut it down. And then a few months later, my dad, got sick, and he passed away. And I got an invite to go into an entrepreneur training class, Beta Group, Black Entrepreneur Training Academy. So I got into it, and they said, well, what's your business? I don't have a business. Well, you come into this class, you got to have a business. I don't want a business. I just want to take this class. Part of the grieving process, healing my dad. And so they kept pushing me. I said, okay, peanut brittle. And so that's how it got all started, through that session.
Wow.
And in that class. But the caveat in it is I went through the whole class trying to name it after my mother. And I could not come up with anything. Nana, Jackie, Granny, all of those things were just utilized in social media. Last day of class, everybody's got everything done except me. I mean, I had my market research done, but I hadn't, registered my name, because I have a name. So they asked me, they said, what are you going to do? When are you going to name your class? And they all called me Mama G because I was the oldest one in there. And so I told them, I said, I don't know. I can't come up with a name. Well, one of the girls in there knew my daughter, had been to my mother's house when we made peanut brittle as a family. She said, Mama G, why don't you just name it Papa's? Papa was always in the kitchen with Nana. And that's how it got started. But the backstory behind that is my dad was transitioning. He always said, Doreen, please forgive me. All I ever wanted to do was to leave a legacy, and I never got around to it. So that connected the legacy that he wanted and the peanut brittle. It all came together.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I haven't been able to stop this. So I really believe that this is something that's ordained by God, that this is supposed to happen. And there's nothing that I can do to stop it.
The big snowball going down the
It-
hill.
Yeah,
it
You
is.
can't
it
stop.
definitely
is.
shows like when your mom when your mom probably wanted you to make this brittle, even though it wasn't a business, you weren't charging, you're just like giving people because they enjoyed it. But it also it created something in you that probably you couldn't do on your own, that your mother and then the loss of your father probably created. And sometimes there's different legacies that's left, and it's not always about money and businesses and it's really sometimes it's creating a person. Even though you're a grown up, they're still creating you and they're still leaving you. My dad did a similar thing with me where he didn't leave me like finances and they actually left me a bunch of bills. But so I take care of my mom and I didn't realize what he left me till I got older, and it was my work ethic and my caring and like giving back and trying to protect people that are around me, then make sure they don't walk into fires. And so like I think they created something they gave you the tools to create the legacy they couldn't.
You know what, though? There's something crazy happened to me about 2 months ago. I was at church, and one of the girls, she used to always be at my mom's house, always. And I was always telling her, why stay away from my parents, And so you're trying to steal my parents. But anyway, she came up to me and she said, I got to tell you something. I've been holding this for like 2 or 3 years. And I was like, what? She said, I was at your parents' house the fall of 2020. And I asked them, was I going to get my peanut brittle? And they said, no. And then she's like, why? She said, well, not from us, but you're going to get it. And she said, well, how am I going to get it if you're not going to make it? And they said, Doreen's going to make it. Well, she knew me, and she knew I wasn't going to make no peanut brittle. And she said, does she know that? And they said, no, she doesn't, and don't you tell her. And so she said, okay, but they swore her to secrecy not to ever tell me that I was going to make it. So they had planned this. My parents had planned this. And she said my dad looked at her and told her not only is she going to make it, but she's going to do something great with it.
Wow.
And so she finally just told me that a couple of months ago. And I thought, wow. So they must have had this vision or this premonition, my dad, that this was what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And now it's just happening. And it's like you said, it's a snowball rolling down the hill, and all I do is chase brittle.
Chase brittle, and they're carrying you and your dad and the legacy.
Yeah.
So is this your father on the
That's
picture?
my dad, yeah. That's him.
Now you have what, 3 kinds?
I have 3 kinds.
How many siblings are you guys?
I have a brother and a sister.
Brother and sister. But you were the chosen one.
I'm the chosen one.
So did the brother and sister get involved at all?
My sister, she's in the kitchen with me every day.
She's with you?
She's with me every day.
So they're keeping you. So they're keeping you
Yes.
guys close.
Yes.
There's no one more important than family. I'll be
Yes.
honest with you. You know, and guys, if you have not tried this, even if you don't, if it's Peterborough is not your thing, try it anyway. You're gonna change your mind, and it's a great gift right now. You throw this in like a little stocking stuffer, holiday party, stuff like that. These are great to have on the. Actually, these are really cool to have on a charcuterie board. By the way, we did one before. We took it and we kind of broke it up in smaller pieces and just kind of laid it out. It's a unique item to put on a charcuterie board, but it just gives some sugar on the board. So
Yes.
think about that when you're
Good
doing it.
idea.
Is this the Weight Watchers one?
There's no such thing as Weight Watchers for you, Bob. Definitely not. No, so tell us a little bit about being a woman entrepreneur. That I want to know about that, and being a black woman entrepreneur, which is not hard. It's not. Let's say it's not new, but
Right.
it's definitely something that's being opening. I had a conversation this morning with somebody about that, trying to get more of like the inner cities more involved in entrepreneurship and understanding the world and what it takes.
Yes.
And there's a lot of difficulties and a lot of red tape, but really it's all about knowledge, who you know, and not being scared.
Right.
And I think it goes back to when we were talking about when I first met you, and you're like a great example, and I think you need to be a bigger mentor for the community, especially Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
This is your home. You need us. I think you need to be bigger part of this, and your word needs to get out there. And sometimes you're just a conversation with somebody like we had changes somebody's life and gives them that confidence that they have, but somebody has to unlock that door.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that journey of going through being was it like discouraging? Were you scared to like kind of approach it, you know?
It has been all of the above. I mean, it really is. It is a journey. And the one word that I can think of is persistence.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be persistent and you got to know your why. For me, knowing my why, and when I connected the legacy with my dad's desire and Papa's formulating, that's my why. That's what keeps pushing me. And my parents were givers. And so because they were givers, that's why Papa's was birthed, because they just gave it away for 60 years. So my whole philosophy is being able to give back to the community. And so, my mission, my vision, and I don't have it right here in front of me, but it's all giving back to the community. I want to be able to build a facility here in Kalamazoo where we will be able to pass on and encourage people that may have been marginalized, overlooked. People think, well, you don't have the gifts, you don't have whatever. I believe there's gifts in everybody.
Absolutely.
And so, but they just need somebody to give them a chance. And so a lot of times you make wrong decisions, bad decisions, because nobody's given you the chance, or you don't feel like anybody's ever going to give you a chance.
You're building up somebody's confidence.
Right. So I want to be able to do that. And so I'd like to be able to build a facility. I grew up on the north side of Kalamazoo. I'd like to build a plant on the north side of Kalamazoo to where I can hire people that will come in, they will make this, they will have opportunities to sit at the table, to give decisions, ask them to participate in the growth of Papa's. And so what that does is that gives them the opportunity to use skills and gifts that they've never been able to utilize before. So ultimately, that's what I want to be able to do, is to give back to the community, change the community, give people opportunities to be homeowners. Close the wealth gap, because sometimes we think that I can never make any more than,
Then you'll stay there.
Right,
You stay there.
Yes,
It's a
and-
mindset.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard when you're in those I grew up in the inner city. I grew up poor and family was struggling, and it was hard to see past that street.
Right.
It was really hard. I could never see what's going on the other side. And you would meet some good people, but it's just timing, and if you could just find somebody to show you like a little bit of like guidance, and that kind of bit down your path, and they can say, hey, like there's a way. You're just you're refusing.
Right.
You're leaning on your past, on your history. That is not your future.
Right.
Your future's up there, but you have to choose to go after it, and do not take no for an answer. Like people will tell you no, and sometimes they're not telling you no because of who you are, your religion, your race, They're not telling you no because of that. They're telling you no because they're scared you might take
Right.
their opportunity. And sometimes people get successful, they are always worried about someone else passing them, which is unfortunate.
It's crazy.
You know, but someone like you, someone like me, who cares about Bob? But anyway, but people like us that we struggled and we see what we went through. We got the no's, we got door slammed in our face, we were misused or whatever, but we got there. And we're not saying we're the best in the world, but we got there and we're happy.
Right.
And that's possible for anybody. And it's just trying hard and believing that you deserve it. You know, you don't. Our parents do sacrifice, regardless of how you feel. Every parent sacrifices for their kid. I believe that.
Right.
And it's a certain sacrifice. You know, there's always certain sacrifices, and you know, not always money and this. There's more than that. You know, and it's humbling. Maybe having faith in your house and structure, like what your parents gave you. It was like quiet, but you didn't know they were creating something
Right.
for you, and they're like, if we're not going to take your answer, you can say no all you want, but you're still going to make this damn brittle.
Right.
You know? And look at it. It became you, but it's probably a shell of you that you never would have seen it.
And and you don't. And with that, you don't know the gifts that you have in your hands.
Yes.
You know, you don't know. And so it's just opening up that opportunity for creativity to be able to, like you said, to be able to see something different. Because I think about this experiment that they did all the time, and if you put a zapper, and the animal will only go so far.
Yeah.
And he gets zapped, and then he goes again and gets zapped. You can take the zapper away, and he'll never go past that
Yeah.
point. And so I think that happens to us a lot of times too, is because I've never been able to get past here, so I'm not going there anymore because I don't want to hear another no.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody else to tell me. My confidence and my self-esteem, I can't take
hurts.
anymore. Right.
Yeah.
And so this is as far as I can go, and I can't see beyond that. So I want to be able to take some walls down and help people be able to see beyond what they can see and know that there's something beyond that wall.
Yeah, it's such an amazing. It's much
Just
amazing, especially
try to turn that
entrepreneurship.
no into a yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to create your own path, and it's a longer walk. Like, okay, you know what? You're not gonna let me on the bridge. I'm gonna go around. And I'll see you when I get there. And you know what? And while you do that, you actually pass the person on the bridge.
Exactly.
And then they're asking you for the help. Like you being in here, like I look up to you right now. Like it was like when you walked in, you were asking me for help, but I'm watching you. I'm like, you look so refreshed. You look so like comfortable, and I
You do.
love
You got
it
confidence.
because
You can tell the
being,
confidence.
being an entrepreneur, that is not always the case. It is so stressful, and I'm sure there's a lot of
Oh,
stress
it's
on you
good, yeah.
and pressure, and no sleepless nights. But what I love about you, and we've had this, and we've talked a million times. You don't talk about money. You don't talk about house business. You don't talk about none of these things that entrepreneurs talk about. You're talking about how good your product is. Paul, where else can I go put my product? You have anybody that you can hire, like stuff like that. You brought the news, and like I met friends. I met news people through you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jasmine, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like your mindset is in a great place, and always stay there because the other side is it's so tough. Like I'm in that side right now, dealing with the construction that kind of destroyed us and like kicked our butt all year.
Yeah.
And like we're getting out of it now, but man, did it just put me in a different world? And it's like I don't want to live in that world. I want to go back to being exciting on social media, having fun, meeting bringing products, but that just shows you like you're being blessed so many different ways because of the right path you're taking.
Right. And it doesn't, there are things that are going to be downers. I mean, there are days it's like, I've had days where I just want to have a meltdown. But, and I start and I'm like, no, you're not. No, you are not. And I just refuse. And I just like, I am not going to lose. I mean, and that's just my whole attitude. It's like, no, I am going to win this game. And that's just it.
You are.
But one of the things, and having that mindset, no matter what, okay, fine, if this door closed, there's another door that's going to
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
And so that's how I've navigated through this. But you kind of started that for me because that's what you told me.
Yeah,
You said
prepared.
you got to be prepared and you got to just keep on going.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done. So, and I don't turn down opportunity. So I think a lot of times people will say, well, I don't have time to go here, I need to do this, I need to do that, but I will shift and move some other things around if there are some places that I feel that I need to be that are going to move me in the direction that I'm going. So when I make a decision where I'm going, it's somewhere that will get me and get Papa's to where I want
Wanna
to
be.
be.
Yeah.
So goal-oriented.
And sometimes it's
And
just
goal-focused.
sometimes their place is just placing your product in certain
Yeah.
areas that it just okay. It doesn't change anything for you, but it's all about timing, right?
Right,
Too. So there
yes.
might that area that you have the product in certain demographic, it might change, and then all of a sudden you're already there, and all of a sudden you're back on the map. But let's switch gears right now.
Okay.
Tell us some of the flavors that you have for Papa's Brittle. Stop making noise.
He's over there eating.
Just eat and be
He's
quiet.
over
Just
eating
eat and be
it.
quiet.
I'm not a peanut brittle person. This is delicious.
Oh, yeah.
There's,
I've never met anyone.
This melts in your mouth.
Okay, I'm not
It's-
gonna tell you. We have like a national brand, Peterborough, in the store, which is like we're one of the 2 retailers that carry a national brand. They sell peanut brittle, and it's out of California. It's a huge company, right? We're not gonna drop their names because they don't earn it yet. And then, and plus you're my friend, so we're gonna drop you 1st. Anyway, you outsell them
Wow.
all the time, all the time, and anybody that buys your product, now they're stuck. It's your peanut brittle is one of those items that you eat it till you get sick. You have to keep eating it till you get like, okay, I got to change up my candy. I've been eating it for like 7 months straight. Like I always rotate my candies, which I shouldn't be eating
Is
any.
this my new drug?
Yep.
One of the many, yes. No, so like, tell us about some of the flavors because you have a bunch of flavors, not just one, not just
Right.
peanut brittle.
It started with the original, just peanut brittle.
Yep.
And then when they made me do it, and when I got into it,
I love it.
I decided to add cashew and pecan. And those 2 have really been a hit. And I think it's because it's something different and it's a neat blend.
Yeah.
Plus the fact this brittle is not your ordinary brittle. You're right. It is so different than any other brittle
It's not
because
as
it's
sweet
soft.
too.
It's not as sweet.
It's sweet and it
It's-
melts easier
It
in
still
your
has a
mouth.
crunch, but
Yeah.
yet it melts in
See,
your
I
mouth.
know my brittle.
You know you're brittle. Those are the kind of things that I hear all the time from people. It's like, my mother, I don't know where she got the recipe from. I don't know if she made it up, but it's almost like the perfect blend because people don't like the hard
Is it
brittle
patented?
because it's hard. Not yet.
You better get it packed.
Not yet.
Before it ends up being called Bob's Brittle. And then I see him.
And what is that secret ingredient again?
Oh, it's called Nunya. Nunya
Right,
business.
right. There you go.
No, how about are we gonna ever see like holiday flavors like a peppermint brittle and stuff
yeah,
like that?
Actually, because I have
Or am
some-
I don't ruin my I don't want to ruin any secrets for you.
No,
Any surprise.
I won't tell you what we're talking about, but I have recently just got some KVC students,
Cool.
KVCC students, and one's going to culinary school. And so we were talking just today even about, some different flavors. So when I get in my new place, that's one of the things that we'll do. We'll probably take a day where we'll have an innovation day where we'll innovate and do some different things. So there's about 3 or 4 different flavors that we really want to do. And you're right, holiday, I'd like to be able to.
How about Crown Royal? Do you have it?
Crown Royal brittle, alcohol brittle. You know what?
No,
That won't be a
might not
bad.
be a bad idea.
People do buy alcohol candies. Like it's actually
Rum.
not a horrible idea.
Yeah, think about a rum blend.
My name, how you spell it.
The Bob Brittle, the Bob Brittle, the Bob Brittle, the one be the only one left on the shelf because no
Right,
one touched
right.
it. It's collecting dust.
Yeah.
No, that's
yeah,
that's
but
cool.
We're going to be working on some different
So
flavors.
okay, so we know you're in Kalamazoo, right? Why don't you should drop some of the names that you even though I wanted to be only my store, but drop some of the other locations like maybe on West Kalamazoo,
Like
North,
far away.
Far
yeah.
away places.
Like just you in
well,
the
we're
are you in the,
midtown. We're in
yeah.
Park Street.
Okay.
Those are my 2 primary.
Yeah.
2 primary stores.
Okay, are you in any other local or any of the? I know you're in Myers now.
Yes.
You were talking about that, but not in Myers in West Michigan.
No.
Metro Detroit area.
Yes, all
Which is
Metro Detroit.
which is fine. They're gonna end up telling you we want you everywhere. If they don't, they're idiots. They're idiots.
yeah.
I'll give you a bigger display.
All
If that's the
right.
case, you can be destined.
All right, there you
Heck,
go.
I might just give you a spot. You can just make it in here if you want.
Hey.
But you know what? Have you ever thought about, now, I don't always recommend people to go into retail, but with all the changes coming to downtown Kalamazoo, it's going to be a big destination the next 5 years. It's going to be a cool town to visit. Do you ever think about having like a little shop or anything like that, or you just don't want to bring that to
I-
the table?
I-
I don't recommend it because
yeah,
it
I
brings
don't.
brings more problems than you think.
Yeah.
You know, it always sounds beautiful, but it's actually very demanding.
No, I don't want to do retail.
Good.
The only thing that I might do is, and like to consider, would be the arena, you know,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
special
absolutely.
events, because there'll be people coming in from, see, I look at that as a marketing opportunity, because there'll be people coming in from different areas, out of state, different cities, and so that gives me the opportunity to brand my product, and then as I brand it through those people, then that gives me a different area that I can target and to go into.
Yeah, same
But,
here.
but other than
Yeah.
that, no.
I told her about
No,
the
no
one
retail.
person we had selling her product, and she opened up her own store
Yeah,
downtown.
it's
And it just killed
Yeah.
her retail.
yeah.
there.
You don't. It's not just that. It just your overhead goes crazy. You literally put so much. You're literally putting. Even though I'm in retail, but I'm in the fresh industry, so it's
Right.
more like they need it that day. Um, it's so much pressure, so much bills, so much responsibilities. Then
Yeah.
it's not always beneficial to you, which is unfortunate. Like you think for small businesses there'll be a better, like especially like tax bracket and incentive to stay in business because you'll never. You can't compete with all the expenses, the taxes and everything and employee taxes. It's just nonstop attacking you. And then it stresses your company and it
Right.
just stresses you. And then the quality just goes away.
Well, I don't want to compete with the people that I'm selling to. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah, that would-
if I'm
yeah.
putting you in a store and putting in stores, and I'd like to be able to go to stores and say,
Yeah.
you know, would you like to carry my product? Because everybody's got their own niche and their own market. But I don't want to be competing
Yeah.
with the
Then
people
if
that
you
I'm
do it,
asking.
somebody's
Right.
sales
Then-
is gonna
right,
suffer.
Right.
Then they're gonna
right.
tell you to leave, yeah.
So no, and I don't want them. I don't want the overhead and the brick and mortar
Yeah.
of having retail.
agree.
So I just don't want to do retail. I want to just do wholesale.
So have you had time for yourself to like take time off, vacationing? Have you been? Because I know every time I talk to you, you're just like everywhere. You're at farmers markets. Last time I was in Texas Corners. I went to a farmers market, and you weren't there. Your family was there.
Right, right.
But I was in Midtown Gear, and they were like, "Are you Paul?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I had my kids with me, and I was mad that you weren't there. 'Cause I haven't seen you in so long. I don't see
Right.
you no more.
I
And when
know.
I do, usually come late because I'm here late now. So if
Okay.
you ever come in, just ask for me. I might be up
Okay.
in the office just doing paperwork. But I don't see you no more. You got a crew. You got nieces. You got like you got everybody, family hustling. You know, if you
Yeah.
ever need extra help, I will volunteer and still pay Bob. Just take them.
You gonna put
Just,
him off on
just
me?
take 'em. Wherever you want. Just don't let them work. Just don't let them make brittle with you because
Okay.
you're gonna be like, I swear we
I
made.
can
I swear
go-
we made 50 pounds. There's like 25 missing, and Bob is just drooling and sticky and.
You're right on the saying, you can't stop.
No, you know what I like too? They're like thinner, you know, and it's like more of like a
Yes.
chip style, which is
Yes.
pretty cool because you don't usually get brittle. It's like that thick, and I always get nervous. I'm like, going to destroy my teeth, but this,
Right.
I like the chips. It's like it breaks down, it's softer, and melts. But so what's the plan? Are you gonna have time for yourself? How does your like family feel about that? Like you're always going.
Oh God, my kids, and especially I have a daughter in Dallas, and I want to go see her so bad, and but just trying to get that block of time to get away. I thought about going down for the holidays, but I said if I go down there and the airlines and everything right
Yeah.
now, I probably won't be able to get back until Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's always a great time for entrepreneurs
Yeah.
to take the after Christmas. The
Yes.
day after the holiday,
Yes.
it's done. Even because don't worry about New Year's, you just shut down.
Yeah.
Even if it takes a little bit longer to get out there, it's okay because I had a hard time doing that the first 6 years opening here, where we just like I'm scared to leave the store for more
Right.
than 2 days,
right.
and
I never saw you for weeks.
I'm just hiding from you. That's because you were on vacation, Bob. Old people. No,
I
it's
know.
like, you have to actually have that separation
Yeah, you
sometimes, and it's hard because you're gonna get phone calls and stuff, but you need that separation,
Yeah.
and because otherwise you're just gonna burn out.
Yeah.
And then the motivation, that negativity comes. But definitely, you need to see the world because you're doing great things, and I just feel like I feel like we're just seeing the beginning of you. I feel like one day you're just gonna be so big you're not even gonna know us anymore.
Nah, I'll never
I
get
see
that
it.
big.
I
I'll
totally
never
see
get
it.
that
Oh,
big.
yeah.
I see
I can see
it.
it.
I see you're gonna be so big, and like people are probably love like being around you or working for you, and you're just gonna have everybody we're just gonna push you out of the way, be like, hey, You just go be the boss. We got it for you, you know?
Well, and that's really where I want to get to. I need to get to the point where I can get out of the kitchen. If I can get
Yeah.
out of the kitchen and do what I do best, because I really believe marketing and, getting to know people and
Yeah.
getting the product out is what I do best. So that's my next move, is to get somebody that I can trust with the recipe, that will do it the way that I do it, have the same quality standards, because I'm telling you, I am tough when it comes to the quality, what goes in that bag. If it's not perfect, it's not going in.
It has to be the
period.
same, yeah, every time.
And so I need somebody that has that same tenacity that I do with it.
You gotta
And
have that.
I
Otherwise-
have to have
That
it.
would be one of those
Yeah.
great stories if you can get that person from like your community and like give them, change their life.
Yes. Yes.
And it's pretty interesting, like my kids are so young and I don't know what they're gonna be, right? But Bob is too old. He can't carry my legacy, which I would never trust him with any type of legacy. I wouldn't even trust him with my underwear. No, but think about it, like I just feel like you have such a great opportunity to change some people's lives, and I hope you find that person. It's not easy, and but you will.
I know.
If that's what you
I'm
want, you
confident.
will.
I am confident I will.
You will.
And even I've been thinking about, because every time sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, it's like, but a lot of college students and students, our kids, they go to college, and even if they're here at Western, they go and then they leave the community.
Yeah.
So, there may be somebody that's here that wants to really stay here, but they can't find a job that, hopefully I'll be able to say, hey, I got something for you, whether it be bookkeeping my books, marketing, social media, whatever it is. Yeah, whatever it is. So that's really what I hope to be able to do.
Yeah, and are we gonna be able to shoot a social media video with you?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
have you been watching us on social
I
media?
do.
at all?
I see you guys, and I that's why I gotta get somebody to do my social media, because yours is hot all the time. Is that you?
Yeah, his name Travis. He's
Oh,
right
man,
here. Maybe
okay.
maybe he can fit in a day or something for you
Yeah.
and get you.
I'll hire you, Travis.
He'll get some ideas,
Yeah.
But he's good, and he come up with great ideas, and you just got to make them fit to what you want
Right,
it to
yeah,
be. It can be
yeah.
he can do everything. For us, we love to be goofy and fun, so that's our energy,
Right.
and we're joking all the time. But everybody has their own, like the professional platforms. He does documentaries. He's very talented, so he can mold to what you need,
Yep.
and whatever makes you happy. End of the day, you want to make sure you're happy too, But he's a college kid and he's trying to make his way through and be the big time.
See,
He's
that's
gonna
what
forget us too one day, and
One day,
and I'm gonna have to make Bob do the media.
take this with you to
He's gonna come with a Kodak camera and then go get the pictures developed. And then he goes, "Here, Paul, put them on Facebook."
Put a tether on him. Don't let him go.
Facebook.
Yeah.
What's Facebook?
Well, we just finally got Bob off a flip phone. He had flip phone this whole time.
Oh,
he didn't know
stop.
he didn't know what social media was. No, he had he had the Android. His text messages came in green.
Oh,
And
God.
So we finally got him the iPhone, so he can actually be part of the chat.
When you go to Dallas, take that down there, get a couple accounts, and then when you go fly down to see your daughter, you write everything off. It's
Yeah.
a business expense.
Well-
there you go.
I know. I got
Just
somebody
get
out.
Bob knows how to
Yeah.
cheat the system. Thanks, Bob, for
Hey,
cheating.
Bob.
Yeah, there we go, babe.
Thanks, babe.
You know what? Dallas is a great market.
Yeah.
You know where you need to be? Airports.
I know.
It's hard to get in them though, but we'll talk after. There's another grocery store I know. Mm-hmm. If we send you over to them, they're already in airports. They can probably just pick up your product and just put it on put it in there. Yeah, and you actually need to be in there because you fit their style.
Right.
They're very like bougie store, but your stuff is not bougie, but it's nice stuff in the store. Like Bob doesn't know what bougie is. Don't worry, you're not bougie, Bob. You're the complete the opposite of bougie is you, Bob.
Are you talking dirty?
Bob, you're booty.
Oh, that's the word I would look
Yeah, you're booty. That's bougie.
I heard that word before.
So
Poor Bob.
I got one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
What were you gonna be before you did the brittle? Like, what was the plan like for you in life? Like, just get married and be a housewife? What was gonna happen? Were you working? Were you in the industries? What were you in?
What does your husband think about all this?
He's supportive. He's very supportive. He's very, because, he has his own store downtown. He has a men's clothing store downtown.
Oh, so we
Yeah,
got our
so
next
for
guest.
that-
We got our next guest.
Hey,
We
what
got
can,
the
he, what can he do for me?
Huh? Oh, he can hook you up now. He'll,
Oh, yeah.
he'll dress you up.
I don't
from
know.
head to
As he
toe.
said, clothing store, not plastic surgeon, Bob. Yeah, what's the name of your
Oh,
store?
it's C's Perfect Tie.
C's Perfect
He's
Tie?
on Level Street.
Is that like, what is that, suits and
Suits. He does hats, suits, shoes.
So he does all the
walking
custom
suits,
stuff?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
He
we
does
got to get
temporary
right.
suits,
we
yeah,
get
ties,
we
yeah.
got to go down there. Me and Bob get some suits and then bring
There
him
you
on
go.
the show.
There you go.
We'll
All
get the
right.
loudest suits he has. I want the
Oh,
loudest
Lord.
ones.
I don't think he does all that. But you know, the colors are in now, though.
They are really
Yeah,
are. Colors
they
are
really
coming
are,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, and not as fitted anymore.
Right,
They were.
right.
It was
I
fitted
think
for like.
Yellow looks good on me. Wouldn't it be a yellow
Oh, yeah.
suit?
I
Yeah.
can see you in a bright orange.
Yeah, bright.
Right.
Yeah, a Dumb and Dumber. We'll go. That's our Halloween costume, Dumb and Dumber.
And my suit says got cashews.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, that's cool. So
Yeah.
like, so you guys are both entrepreneurs and
Yeah.
just moved. But what was your plan before this?
Actually, I was an entrepreneur once. I had First Lady at my church, Win Moore. We owned First Lady hats downtown Kalamazoo.
Okay.
And we did that for about 7 years, and then church hats went out, so we kind of just said, okay, no more. But I worked at AT&T for 30 years.
Great.
Yeah, I was a manager for sales manager. That's probably why I do so well. But
Yeah.
for 24 years, and when we went to Southwest Bell, because at that point we had changed names. I started Michigan Bell, Southwest Bell, Ameritech.
Yep.
And I thought too many changes, and so I left at 30 years.
That's funny. Yeah, my sister worked for AT&T one, and it went through all the change. She worked in Southfield corporate office.
That's where I worked,
They moved
yeah.
from downtown to Southfield, and then they were kept like cutting departments and then making the people they kept do more work. And
yeah.
she's just like, I want to get out too, because at one point, sooner or later, you're doing all the work. Like, okay, and then my pay didn't change.
Right.
But she did get her master's degree through there. They paid for a lot of schooling. She did about 27 years, and now she
Yeah.
just retired. And her husband.
Yep. So that's
Those are things, but it's you know what? That like I would never guess that, But everybody has to work somewhere, right?
Right,
We all
yeah.
got to make a living somehow. But that's
Yeah, everybody does.
Yes, I retired from there, and then I'm a minister at Mount Zion.
Mount Zion,
So,
yeah.
And I've worked at Mount Zion. I was pastoral outreach coordinator there for Pastor Moore, and
good people. They're such good people there.
Yes, I
We've
love
done a
it.
lot with them, and
Yeah.
a lot of my employees are like members there, and they go there. They see service, and
Love it.
I do have one serious question to ask you.
oh, there's a first.
Yeah, it would be. Do you see a lot of these kids needing more help nowadays? Just guidance
Yes.
and the right path and the things to take and do in their lives. I've been thinking about, and Paul probably knows this, and I've asked a couple other people about that. And that's something I really like to do is work with kids. Because I think a lot of them are just going down the wrong path, and just like we were talking about earlier, they just need to be pushed in
Guided.
another way.
Yeah, I mean, I love kids, and I have so many of them that call me Mama or they call me Gigi, and from
I've
the
been
time
called
they're
names
little
too.
bit. But the thing is that they just need to know that they're special.
Right.
They need to know that they're gifted. And I'm always, even like with my grandkids, all the time I'll send them messages and, just, motivational things and, hey, have a great day. You are somebody and make it, have a great day. If I find something on social media that's
Yeah.
going to encourage them, I send that to them because I think that's so important that they understand that they're valued. I believe my pastor always says that your birth was activated to solve a problem in the earth realm. And so everybody is here for a purpose. And until you really discover your
Right,
purpose,
right.
You're never going to understand who you are and why you're here. And that's why you can be moved with every wind that, somebody goes, oh, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Okay. But you really don't know who you are. And so I think that is so important. And you say that with kids, they need to understand who they are.
Can you say that one more time? What you just said.
Yes.
What your pastor told you.
Yes, that your birth was activated to solve a problem in the earth realm.
That's
And-
incredible.
Yeah, and so no matter what, no matter who you are, you're here for a purpose. And so each of us are connected, and I really believe there's also another scripture that says each joint supplies. And so we are a body that's really fitly joined together, but I needed what you had, and you helped me. And so there's somebody that needs what I have. So we're always here to help and to connect each other.
Right.
And so as long as we're not always thinking about just ourselves, but we're also realizing that God put me here to help you or to whatever, but there's a purpose for all of us to fulfill.
Absolutely.
And so I really think when you say yes, do these kids need it? They do.
They do.
And they've become so isolated now, you know, with social media, with all the internet and the games and all of that.
Yep.
I think I know COVID did not help.
No.
You know, because a lot of them became,
Right.
introverts.
They all,
That
yeah,
made it
everyone
worse.
progressed even.
Right,
and-
right.
And that there's a part of social media that can be wonderful and fun, but the majority of it is just spreading such bad
Yes.
news. And these are bad news that were always there. The world always had bad news, but they were never exposed to the kids.
Right.
You know, like you went to school, you read your textbook, that's what you learned. You had some high school drama, but you didn't deal with the real world problems.
right.
These kids are involved at 10, 11 they know about politics. They're talking about presidential elections, like saying negative things, racism everywhere. It's like, what is going on?
Right.
And it's too much for a child
Yes.
to handle. And I'm sorry, a 17-year-old is still a child. And the parents still haven't had a chance to raise their kid before the internet destroys them.
Right.
And that sucks and that's what scares me the most. And that's where the mental health is just a disaster right
It
now.
is.
And my daughter, sometimes she has breakdowns, and we're like, "What's going on?" And like, you don't need to feel like that.
right.
And it's really not there. So once we convince her it's not there, she's like, "Oh, okay." And like, but why is that? That terrifies me. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, those thoughts were never in my head. I just wanted to play outside all day, and I used to fight with my mom. I don't want to come in yet,
Right,
you know. And but the things that we're dealing with, and unfortunately, it might get worse, you know. And technology is only going to keep growing, and access to this bad information is going to keep growing. How do we protect our children? And that's from the home, the faith, and having a great parents, you know,
Right.
regardless if they're together or not. Obviously, we prefer them together,
Right.
but if they're not, they still got to be cordial and
Right.
protect their children
Right.
at all costs. Like, your children are the most precious things in the world, you know.
And
Sports.
kids aren't kids, and kids,
Sports.
and
they
kids aren't
need
kids
that.
anymore.
They need the distractions,
Right.
which are sports, learning, activities, doing trips, or maybe just having family time.
Right.
Do you have people still have dinner together at a table?
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
everybody's going in so many different directions now. It's just really different. Because I'm like you, when we were kids, when we were coming up, man, we were outside playing all day.
Yeah.
We were not cooped behind a computer, you know, or playing with our phones or anything like that. We were outside we make up games.
Make up stories,
You know,
just relax.
yeah.
All you need is a quick snack, and then
Right.
keep going,
yeah.
and then or get inside. We're done. You
How come
know.
my parents, their doors were always locked?
Yeah, well, when they dropped you off, they used to drop Bob off on the freeway. They used to take Bob about half an hour on the freeway, throw him out, but somehow Bob beat him home. He was just waiting on the porch, him and the dog. No, but thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming on
thank
today,
you.
and you are honestly a blessing. And much as you think I helped you, you helped me too, and it's just great to know that I can connect with somebody that's a whole different world from me, and. But really, we're just so much alike.
We are,
And
we are.
and I love it. I love your energy, and you have so much more to your story, and I can't wait.
And ask your husband if he wants to do this.
Okay, I will.
And I can't wait to be on your guy. You guys should have your
Tell him
own
to bring-
show.
I know, I should.
You guys would
I
have, you guys
should,
would make
I should.
you have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of great things, and you would do great on your own show. And we'll call it Nuts.
Okay,
Nuts.
oh, I like that.
Nuts. But then you need Bob's picture. You don't want that on there because if you're gonna call it Nuts, then you need his picture and the faces right there. No, you guys will have a great story, and you guys are just good people. And
Yeah.
this community needs good people, and thank you for always supporting it.
Thank you.
We
No,
love you.
Thank you.
Any last words?
No, just again, thank you for the opportunity to be able to come on here, and especially for the holidays.
Yeah.
That Papa's Peanut Brittle makes great holiday gifts, stocking stuffers. You can come into
Do you have
Midtown
gift
Fresh and you
boxes? It
can
looked
get
like
it.
on the
I
website
do,
you had gift
I do,
boxes.
I do have gift
Why don't-
boxes.
We could use a few of those.
Okay, I can bring
no,
some
seriously.
down.
Yeah, bring them in. We'll
Okay.
we'll sell them
Okay.
right out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, guys, get in here. Midtown carries it. Park Street has it. If not, just have it for dessert. Have it as like a dessert on your table
yeah.
for the holidays after dinner.
Just remember, once you start, you can't stop.
Once you start, you can't stop.
That's what I tell all the women.
All 0 of them. And all those women have
Okay.
restraining orders on him. Guys, thanks for the episode. We love you. See you next time.